Michael Schur is one of today's most prolific showrunners, having created shows like Parks and Recreation, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and The Good Place. And guys, Michael Schur is back, but this time he's executive producing, and it's his first foray into multi-cam comedy. Linda and I just watched the pilot to Abby's, which aired on NBC a couple days ago, and we're here to tell you all about our thoughts, so stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TV Pilot Reviews here on AfterBuzz TV. This is the show where we bring you our take on Hollywood's hottest new pilots. To be clear, this is not an after show. This is a pilot review show because Linda and I only review the first episode of television for you.
That's correct.
And this week, before we get into the show, I'm going to let ourselves introduce ourselves. Linda, it's great to have you.
Thank you.
You guys, that's the voice of Linda Antwi. You've seen her on many of our after shows. You've seen her hosting red carpets. You've seen her interviewing Oprah, among other things.
Yes.
And you've seen her talking about TV pilots with me. Linda, glad to have you. My name's
Thank
Jeff,
you.
guys. If you have seen me on the network, it was probably on The Bachelor after show, which is what I'm either hosting that show or like a very small indie comedy that no one's watching. So it's one of the two.
Do you do book reviews?
I've never done a book circle. No.
No, pilot. It's scripts.
Yeah,
Script
that's been
review.
on hold. I do host and produce a table read show.
Yeah, there you go.
That I'm very proud of, but it's a lot of work, and we've been on hiatus. And I'm going to bring it back soon, and I will.
Nice.
Okay, guys, we covered the pilot to Abby's, and I have the premise right here. Abby's, which is set in San Diego, takes place in the backyard home of Abby, a bisexual Latina ex-Marine sergeant. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Who turned it into an unlicensed bar complete with her own set of rules and the eclectic set of regulars who have to follow them. So that's the premise.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get into development in a little bit, but before we do, I want to hear your overall thoughts on the pilot, Linda.
I don't normally not like a lot of shows. So this is going to be my third pilot that I just was like, what is happening? What year am I in?
Yeah.
I love all of the main actors. And I was in shock. Like, I literally watched it and then I rewound it about 5 minutes in the beginning just to make sure that it was as bad as I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible.
I don't know.
Even the chemistry between the actors. And then did you see at the very end? I know this is a little bit of a spoiler, but this just sums it up for me. Did you see at the very end how Natalie breaks character?
No, I didn't know.
Oh, you guys, when you watch it, you'll see.
Weird. I am not as far on the dislike spectrum as you are, but this was not a great pilot, unfortunately.
It's terrible.
I wouldn't say it was terrible. I feel like it set the stage for what could be a good show, but I thought the characters were interacting in a way that felt warm to me, and I could see myself wanting to come back just for the nostalgic affection of a bar sitcom like Cheers.
Yes. Okay.
But the jokes were not working, were they?
At all. The writing, I don't know if it wasn't landing. They were talking about like trying to have zingers here and there in their conversations, but they just felt so dated and not original and not funny.
Yeah, that was what I was surprised by. And there are multicams that rely a little bit more on heart than humor. A show I really like, One Day at a Time. I don't know if you watched that show at all.
I did not.
Just got canceled by Netflix, but that was a show that was funny enough, but like very kind of moving and inspiring. And it was the characters who kept you coming back.
Were you moved and inspired by this pilot?
There were moments when I was like, okay, I could come back for this.
Okay.
Like when they were all in her house being like, you've got to keep the bar open. But I also think I was wanting to like it.
I think so, because I came in with high expectations, and maybe that's why I feel so disappointed.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's interesting. For those of you guys who haven't seen it, it's actually an outdoor multicam show.
Right.
So that's kind of cool that they have the set up outside, and it truly does look like an outdoor backyard.
Yeah, so 3 fun facts. So yeah, it's filmed outside with a live audience. And it is shot on the same studio backlot as Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives.
That makes sense.
So, it has a lot going for it.
If you guys have ever done the Universal Studios tour, I'm sure you will drive by the Abby's set.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. there's so much about this on paper that I'd be excited about. I'm always excited about a new multicam because I think it's rare that multicams are good, but when they are good, I think they're great. You know, if you look at all the biggest hit comedies of the last 2 decades, they're mostly multicam shows. It's Seinfeld, it's Friends, it's How I Met Your Mother.
Yep.
And actually, the director of this episode, who's also an EP on the show, directed like 98% of every How I Met Your Mother episode.
That and isn't he part of New Girl?
The creator is a part of New Girl.
Okay.
The director, she actually, Pamela Fryman, is a very, very well-known and respected multicam director. So, again, there's so much, and it's Michael Schur, which is crazy because his track record is unbelievable.
I mean, maybe it gets better.
I wonder, but the thing that was crazy was that it was not funny.
That's what listen, it was terrible, you guys, terrible. Like, so terrible that it's shocking. It was shocking. I was like, you have such talent, and behind the scenes and in front of the scenes.
I know.
And this is what you came up with. And you're doing almost like a different concept by being outdoors and having a live audience outdoors. And can I just tell you one other thing with this laugh track business? Like, if you have a live audience, you don't need the laugh track, in my opinion.
Do we know they were using a laugh track?
Yes, I researched it.
Oh, interesting. I bet the jokes weren't landing at these tapings.
And that's something else that I saw online, that there were some that were not landing. Hence,
there weren't really jokes. Like when she's like she goes. In fact, we'll save it for our spoiler section. Save some of these specifics, but you can tell I'm pretty lukewarm and Linda's pretty cold on this pilot. That being said, I am going to play.
Wow.
Because I have faith in this show.
Play?
It's hard for me to recommend the show.
Okay. So you're a play pass.
I think I'm a play pass. The reason I am is because I have a faith in this team. I have faith in Michael Schur. I have faith in Pam Fryman. I have faith in this showrunner because I love New Girl. But I don't want to make other people waste their time until I can give you a stamp of approval. So I will do my due diligence and watch a couple more. And if I feel like it's worth you guys watching, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay, perfect. I obviously am going to pass and pass.
Hard pass.
Yes, I have too many shows that are in the docket that this is not going to be one of them.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. Let's talk about the cast.
Let's do it.
So, first and foremost, leading the way is Natalie Morales, and she plays Abby. And Natalie, you know her from Parks and Rec, Battle of the Sexes. You know her from Girls, from Santa Clarita Diet, from Grace and Frankie, The Grinder. And this is her first time being the lead, except for when she was the lead on The Middleman. Do you remember that?
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it, but apparently has like a cult following. And she was beloved on this. And she's a great actress, really. Next, we have Neil Flynn. You know, he plays Fred. And you know him from Mean Girls, from Scrubs, The Fugitive, The Middle, Undateable, and Key and Peele. And, you know, he's a familiar, I feel like he's a sitcom regular.
Staple.
Yeah, staple. There you go.
He's very much like
Yeah.
There he is.
I don't know your name, but I know that you're on every show.
That guy,
yeah. And then next we have Nelson Franklin. He plays Bill. And you know him from The Office, from New Girl, from Blackish, Captain Marvel, I'm Sorry, Arrested Development, which I thought was a great show, and Truth Be Told. He's funny to me, like really, really funny. So when I saw him, I'm so disappointed.
Heartbroken.
And next we have Jessica Chaffin. She plays Beth, the wino mother that lives across the street. And you know her from Good Will Hunting. Pitch Perfect 3, Hustle, from Veep, Episodes, I'm Sorry, and Man with a Plan.
Wait, so was she the overworked mother?
Yeah.
Okay, she looks different in that headshot.
Right?
Which I did mention a headshot because if you guys are listening to our podcast audio, check out our YouTube and you can see these beautiful faces of our cast.
That's right.
Yes.
Next, we have Leonard Oates. He plays James, the lovable but kind of scared bouncer of this bar. He's known from Set It Up, Master of None, which is one of your favorite shows.
Oh, that's exactly who. Oh, he's such a funny character.
Yeah,
he plays that producer who's terrible at his job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And from Like Father. And so if there is one redeeming quality, I will say this guy stole the pilot for me. If there was going to be a funny moment, he kind of had it for me. I didn't laugh out loud, but I smiled.
You know what? I I agree with you, Linda, in the sense that he was the funniest thing, but even he was so underserved by this writing. Like
Right?
Yeah, I was surprised.
Like, think of the writing on Master of None, what they did with him. And I know that part of it is obviously his acting, but part of it is the writing. He's so funny in Master of None, like so. I'm not sure. I'll say something after I talk about the last main character, Kimia.
I'm gonna guess it's Papornia.
Yeah, she plays Rosie, the barback. You know her from Unicorn Store, Modern Family, Pop Rocks, and most recently she was on Station 19.
That's a Linda show.
Yeah, it is my show, my after show that I will have tomorrow, 8:00. Be here. Okay, so Leonard and Kimia. This is the first time for them as series regulars on a major network show.
Good for them.
Right?
I liked both of them. She had some funny one-liners.
Yeah. I thought the whole... Okay. I'll wait. But I did think that even some of the physical comedy was so lame.
It was kind of lame. That's a good word for it.
You guys could do so much. First of all, if you're filmed, you're supposed to be in San Diego. Think of the setting in San Diego. Think of the concept of this. Like, first of all, it would never happen. You're never going to be able to have an outside bar in your backyard. So you could do so much with that alone, in my opinion. And then this is what we've come up with.
Hey, I hear you, Linda. Well, do you guys have heard our overall take on the pilot? We've gone over the cast for you. So if you haven't seen the show yet, I guess neither of us recommended it. But if you're compelled by what you're hearing, check out. If you love heartfelt multicams, if you love a How I Met Your Mother, if you love a Cheers, and like those are your bread and butter, this is worth checking out because there might be enough in the DNA of the show for you to enjoy it. If you like comedy, I don't know if I would recommend this show in its current form.
Yes.
But I'm going to keep watching it and I'll keep you guys posted because I do have faith because this team is incredible. So, we'll see what happens.
I want to read a quote because I was reading this article because why am I so underwhelmed? That really sums it up for me. It says, the deepest echoes of Cheers aren't heard in the setting or the refuge it provides to its band of outcasts, which is really what they are.
Yeah.
But rather the show's amiable plotlessness, which you'll see in the pilot. Episodes unfold at a leisurely pace around an elementary storyline, which you'll see again in the pilot. Beth realizes she might not be as close to Abby as she thought, and it goes on. I don't want to break it too down for you because we are only doing the pilot. But basically what this article is saying is it's a very basic show. And the plot, if you're going to ask yourself, what is this show about? It's going to be about nothing. They're really trying to hone in on the good old Cheers day where it was really about the dialogue and the relationship.
Chemistry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that being said, I suppose in the pilot and it's new and they're all new, although a lot of them have worked together before, maybe that just takes time. Because another quote I had was that sometimes it takes time for you to warm up to sitcoms.
Yeah.
And perhaps this is one of those sitcoms where you just have to stick with it like you're going to do. And perhaps you'll end up loving it.
That's what I'm hoping, because I will say I have so much goodwill toward everyone on this show.
Yeah.
If I'm being candid, I have a second-degree relationship with Pam Fryman, and she's a brilliant multicam director and has a good ear for this stuff. And Michael Schur obviously is the Norman Lear of our time.
Yes.
So there's so many reasons why this show should work, which is why I was a bit gobsmacked by this pilot, because I don't know, it wasn't for me.
And I mean, we didn't even talk about the creator, have we? The writer-creator, Josh Malcolm.
No.
And then he's part of New Girl.
I know,
And
he
New
comes
Girl
from New Girl.
Was the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, all these people came up in ranks that are setting us up for a really brilliant show. So I'm going to keep watching and let you guys know. Linda, I'll keep you posted. If I feel I have a huge heart shift on the show, I'll let you know.
Okay, please do.
But that's our overall take. We're going to move into a spoiler section now. Okay. So,
spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
But I'm about to spoil something else for you. And that's the fact that we're spoiling you with our brilliance here at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you, Steve. Linda, take it away.
Yeah, so before we move on, we just want to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. We could not do these shows without you. But we need your help. We need you to subscribe to some of our channels, like, comment. We love interacting with you. I especially get in there and just listen to all the theories. And when you guys disagree with me, it's even better because you make me think a different way. Like I might come in all hard, you say something and I think about it and I'm like, you know what? You're right. So continue the comments, continue the likes. If you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, 5 stars is truly, truly appreciated. So thank you for being a part of our AfterBuzz family and just keep going. We love it.
And guys, we always say it, but thank you for making us the ESPN
Of TV
Talk. Very well said, Linda, and we love you guys. Say hello. Okay, we're going to get into our spoilers now. So here's my issue with this show. Obviously, we've been talking about a lot of them. The jokes aren't working right now. But when jokes aren't working in a sitcom, if you have a really, really great plot like we were talking about, that can carry you through. But even in this episode, like your landlord's son doesn't like your bar.
Right.
Like it would have been way more interesting if it was like someone like this, like someone from the state comes in and tries to shut them down, or
Which is more realistic as well.
I know, so low stakes. That's what shocked me, I think. So I was like, at least we're going to have this really kind of interesting hook. Because in Cheers, you know, Diane shows up and shakes up the whole. I don't feel like this, because it's like in a comedy pilot, you always have like the wedge, you know, that like it's Tracy Jordan in 30 Rock. It's Ben Mankiewicz in Parks and Rec. You're always looking for someone really, it's if you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's Captain Holt. So you're looking for that outsider to come in and shake it up. But this guy hardly shook it up.
And he shook it up for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden he's part of the crew.
Then he's like, make me a Mai Tai.
Yes. Yeah. Make me a Mai Tai. And then the dartboard, he's around looking for a place to put the dartboard up. And I was like, wait, just 3 minutes ago you were anti with all these rules and regulations, and you've just flipped? Like, they could have played with that for so much longer.
And this person kicked your phone.
Yeah. Out of your hand.
That is sociopathic behavior, Linda.
Outrageous.
The protagonist is a sociopath.
Yeah, she is a little bit.
But maybe she'll come around.
I hope not, in the sense, I hope she keeps her character like hard like that.
The edge.
Yeah, because they need some edge. They all can't just be like willy-nilly.
Yeah. What else was I going to say about this show? Oh, I will say a show like this has to be very inexpensive.
Even though it's multicam?
Yeah, multicams typically cost less because now that we shoot on digital, it's like you're not like buying locations, you're shooting at the studio.
They already have the studio there. It looks low budget as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I thought the set design was nice. I don't know, it looked pretty, I thought. But it was pretty much just that one location.
That we got the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which on one hand, that's hard. You know, that's really, really tough to create a compelling pilot in one location.
I know, but if this is supposed to be the 2019 Cheers, it can be done.
I know.
So if they're looking at that as the example, then I feel like they have a long road ahead of them.
What do you feel like this show needs right now?
Okay, well, I think this show needs some more writing.
Yes.
I was going to say better writing, but I don't want to offend, because I don't want to offend anyone, but I think that we need to look at the writing and decide what we think is funny. I think that the show needs, like you said, the edge. So one of the characters has to be so, like, you're cheering for them, but you also hate them a little bit, so that they're the stores that when you come, okay, think of it this way. You go to your favorite spot, and you go there, you're a regular there, you're known there, and one person comes in who's not a regular, and so they don't know how you guys move around, they don't know how you interact with whoever's, like, whether they're serving you or whatever, if you're at a bar, and it always throws you off. Maybe they start dancing, and we don't dance here, that type of thing. They need that person to be a character. So whether that's someone that comes in, like, off, because why do you have all these rules, right? You have all these rules that obviously all the regulars, they know the rules. So there's not going to be a problem at the bar. So we just all going to chit-chat? No, you need someone to come in and stir it up. And it was supposed to be the Fred character.
Speaking of rules, I was very confused during one part of this pilot, Linda. Do you know what part I'm talking about?
When the rules came out?
When they went to an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Why did they go to a book?
Well, because there's no phones allowed at the bar.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry, guys. That's why.
No phones allowed at the bar. And
That's a fun little twist.
It is.
I missed that.
They need to play on it more, though, then.
For sure.
Yeah.
It needs to be a recurring joke. Let's hit that third beat so
Yeah.
we can have the jokes build.
Yeah.
Let's have escalation with these characters.
Yep.
When you talk about dislikable but lovable characters, that's Joey from Friends. That's
Exactly.
Barney from How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
None of these characters popped at all for me.
Yeah, again, so the only one would be for me...
The bouncer.
James, yeah, the bouncer. And that was just a little bit. But he can't... So in the pilot, he played the same joke, in my opinion, just in different forms.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the big guy, and they think I'm athletic, but I'm the big guy, so they think I want to play darts. The big guy, so they think I can get rid of people. Like, you know what I mean? It's to say, okay, I get it, but you're also what?
Oh, I thought you were asking
No,
me.
that's a real question. You're also what? Like,
I
I
was
get
like,
it. Yeah, you're funny, and
right.
you're the big guy, and you do this, but what else are you?
Right.
You can't just be that the whole season. That would just be, ugh.
Let's talk about some things we liked.
Okay, so
I liked the set design.
yeah, okay.
The lighting was great.
I liked that it was created by people that created shows that
you
I've
like.
loved in the past. And I was really, really excited to see Natalie Morales because I do like her as an actress. So I think that she was solid in her performance. I just think that they weren't given enough to.
I agree.
perform
All
with.
these actors really gave it their best shot.
Yeah.
I really think it's what's on the page. I hate to say it, but you're going to have trouble getting anyone to sell these jokes is the way they're written right now. We just need to punch these up.
Something.
And because the tough thing is we can't really have situational comedy in a show like this because it's one location, you know? So it's tough to create a comedy of errors in one room. So we really, really need like well-written, punchy jokes because that's the only source of humor we have access to right now.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Agreed.
so let's rate this thing.
So a rating out of 1 to 5, 1 being awful and 5 being amazing, perfect. I'm going to say it's a 1.5 for me.
Okay. Giving this a 2-2. It's not great. We're averaging a 1.8.
8.
Yes. The math. We did it.
Yeah.
Who do we feel like this show is aiming for? Who do we feel like the target demo is for this show?
And that could be the other problem. So I think that maybe it's the family who has had dinner around the table, like that old school thought process. So, you know, that, not that that's old school because I think that's awesome, but do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who the
Yeah.
exact target audience. I couldn't say that it's Gen Z or Gen X because it's not that for sure.
Definitely feels like a network show, you know?
Yeah, and so the network show is like that family audience.
Yeah,
That's,
I agree.
That's what I think it is.
Yes. I think maybe people who like to show like, well, Cheers obviously, but How I Met Your Mother, kind of those feel-good multicams. Definitely check this out.
Yeah, I put down if you like I Feel Bad or Fam or The Good Place or Truth Be Told, like you said, or Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Cheers or New Girl, and you want to be invested, meaning you can get past this pilot, then you're going to love the show.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything we have? No. That's all our segments, guys. We got through that fast.
Yeah, we really did. Yeah, we talked about everything.
Great. Well, this was our coverage of Abby's. We tried to give you some love, y'all, and I don't love not loving shows. So
Me too. I feel terrible
I know.
because I want everyone creative to be able to have an outlet to be creative.
Well, and I think the show has potential. Not based on this pilot, but based on this team.
Okay, I agree with that.
So let's see what happens. I'm going to keep watching and I'll keep you guys posted. That person who is the me of the show is Jeff Graham. I think I'm losing my mind just a little bit, you guys.
Because you watched this pilot for 21 minutes.
Maybe that's what it is. If you guys want to find me on Twitter, you can do that at Jeffrey C. Graham. In terms of other shows I host here, as I mentioned, when it's on, I host The Bachelor. And right now that's all I'm doing. That and that.
All right.
So I'm taking it slow.
Guys, I am Linda, and you can find me all across social media at Linda So Girly. I am on this panel And after this, I do The Act, which everyone is talking about. So you should definitely check it out. And then I do a fun little comedy called Whiskey Cavalier on ABC. And that is a really great show, and the people are really fun to look at. And then I also do Station 19, Shondaland, because it's Shondaland. So please do check me out and let me know your thoughts.
And let us know your thoughts on Abby's, guys. If you disagree, please put it in the comments because we really appreciate your feedback. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week here on TV Pilot Reviews.
Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.